Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekly Awakening Podcast. This is your host, Cosmic Colleen, back with another weekly astrology update. What do we have happening in the stars this week? Well, first, yesterday, Tuesday the 24th, it is September 24th, 2024. Actually, today's the 25th. I wanted to get this episode out yesterday, but single mom with life with kids, sometimes it doesn't happen. So yesterday we had Mercury in Virgo, trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. That was a nice, solid, communicating day. I'm going to talk more about that. Today, Wednesday the 25th, this morning, we woke up with Mercury in Virgo going opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. I don't know about you, but it was very hard to get up this morning. We all wanted to stay in. It's cozy vibes up here in East Pennsylvania. Now, Thursday the 26th, we have Mercury trine Pluto in the morning. Actually, technically tonight, I guess, early 12:14 a.m. East Coast time. And then at 4:08 a.m., we'll be waking up tomorrow morning. Mercury will move into Libra. Then next Monday, we have Mars in Cancer, trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and then Mercury conjunct the Sun in Libra right before we have that eclipse next week in the Sun in Libra. Now, this morning I was, of course, the first thing I did, not the first thing I did, but for one moment was waiting for my coffee to boil. Or to be made. I went on Instagram, and that's something I really try not to do. There's no need for any of us to wake up the first thing in the morning and just scroll on Instagram. First of all, we're giving them what they need, right? Mind control, and then we're going into everyone else's world when we don't even have our own figured out. But nevertheless, I got on Instagram for about 3 minutes, and the first thing I read was some astrology post came up, and there's all kinds of shit out there. I mean, I'm not saying it's all bad, but a lot of the stuff that you see on social media, especially nowadays, are just like someone who just kind of copies astrology info and kind of wants to be famous. That's all they have. Instagram famous. They don't necessarily know. And so there is... Sorry, I got distracted. My son Remington just said something with a whole thing of cinnamon in his hand. So... someone said something like, this portal between the eclipses is so intense and your life might not, blah, 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 blah. First of all, eclipses are going to be very personally tied to those signs that it's happening in and people with those placements. That is number one. So not everybody is going to be feeling this epic, amazing shift in between where things are crazy, the way that they describe. That's not true. Even some intense ones that I have had, every single eclipse portal didn't feel like I was in another world, right? And so I just want to say that. So we're in the middle of eclipse season, but that was a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. We were just getting a taste of it. And then we're finishing out this eclipse series with a really positive Libra eclipse. So to me, this eclipse portal isn't that intense. We're having a soft beginning for a new one, a new eclipse portal, and we're having a nice, beautiful ending for the last one. So just so you guys know, these last 2 weeks, email me if you disagree, but I don't think it's like this intense, crazy eclipse portal, especially with these two eclipses. Now, like I said last week, I promised you we are going to be talking about Libras and Libra season. So here we go, and then we'll get to the rest of the transits. My Libras, we are now officially in Libra season, and we're away from Virgo season, which may have had Virgo season had a little bit of more of a stressful or lost kind of feeling, since Virgo season, starting last year, this year, and next year, is going opposite Saturn in Pisces. Okay, that doesn't happen, right? That happens once every 30 years. Will it go opposite a Virgo? So each time next year, in 2 years, Saturn will then be in Aries. So you get what I'm saying. So this Virgo season, same with last, and next year might feel a little more together, didn't feel like we were getting our shit together. I feel like most of the time in Virgo season, September, we're like, okay, that's a line. Let's get our shit together. That's organized. What does life look like? What do we want to look like? This Virgo season was still a little bit scattered. It was all over the place. It was fractured. It was lost. It was slow. It had, a lack of desire to get your life together. It had all of those things that, normally do not represent or do not come up during Virgo season. So I'm going to say, now that we're in Libra season feels more like getting back into order than Virgo season did. Again, when normally that's kind of the Virgo season way, we get our shit to order and then we continue it through Libra season. We're really getting our shit together and our life back in balance with Libra season now. I know for me, I went back to the gym. I always laugh because I restart the gym every month. The one trainer there was like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. I said, well, I restart my gym every month. And I started to get back into a routine. I think we all woke up this week with a few things like, okay, let's get our life back into order. Now, Libra talk. Let's talk about, first of all, hair. Libra, I have had a lot of Libra clients over the years, and I love my Libra clients. And one of the things that they notice is they notice every fine detail. All right. There's a lot of clients who, in certain, astrology, they'll see the whole big picture of the hair. Libras see the tiny details. They see the balance. So I have a good friend. He's a Libra. I cut his hair, and he notices if one little section seems just slightly off versus this section. This lays to here. Sometimes I have to tell people when it comes to hair, like it's all one picture. If you start picking out little tiny things, then that's all you're going to see. You need to look at the picture as one whole thing, which usually Geminis are pretty good at that. Those type, but not Libras. They know every tiny detail, and they hold everything up to perfection. Now, here's the nice thing. So because they know that about themselves, they at the same time don't necessarily right away judge someone because of that. They know that they hold a very particular standard of perfection in everything they do, but they also want to choose harmony, peace, love. So they know that about that. They know, and they also don't want to feel like someone's letting them down. So they often just keep those expectations inside. And in the salon world, like I said, they often enjoy the experience or the conversation. And they understand that, okay, this is in my head, every little thing I'm staring at. So I'm going to keep going, even though I'm sort of picky. They love me in a way because I can handle their pickiness. And they also love conversation and experience are two of the top tier things for Libras. So even if they notice every tiny little detail of their hair, and they might always be trying to fix it or shape it or change it, if they're getting a good experience and they're getting a good conversation, and if someone knows them, that's even the same for restaurants. If they go to the same restaurant all the time over and over again, as long as that person knows them, they will keep going even if it doesn't live up to their standards. They see and speak the delicate balance of all things, like I said, including hair. Very picky, again, because they see the tiny details in the big picture. I have a family member who is a major Libra placement, okay? Libra sun, rising, moon, Mercury, Neptune. All of the years I have known this person, which is a very, very long time. It's sort of like a married relative sort of thing. They have had 3 cars, all the same cars, 3 different brands though. For years, I've known them go through 3 different rounds, all right? And they've kept the same color and the same model of a car. A red Corvette, I've watched this person have 3 times. And mind you, they search for a year when they're knowing they're going to get a new car, and they end up getting the same car, the same model, and the same color. They have a blue Ford and a white Honda. And I have known them for years, and they have done the same thing because it's easier, even though they sit and look and look and look, they're going to go with what they're comfortable with. What they know goes to those perfections and what they know they like to drive with. It also, one time when they wanted a new TV, he wanted a new TV. It took him 10 months to find the new TV. 10 months. I am not joking. Again, all of those tiny details into everything. And he's a major Libra placement, like I said. He was also Mr. Safety. He always plays it safe. When he was in high school, he would go on Halloween and mischief night. He would ride around with the police and the fire chiefs and make sure everyone is doing what they're supposed to do. Major rule followers. Most Libras you will find are major rule followers, unless they have like an Aries sun and an Aries rising and moon or something along, and Mars. Then they might not be, but the majority of Libra is playing it safe. So we're going to talk about a lot of that with this season. Playing it safe is major Libra energy. Most Libras play it safe. They want harmony. They want peace. And they realize that playing it safe in life keeps them within that harmony and peace energy. They will usually choose to do the right thing over the wrong thing. Again, because they want peace. They want, they're people pleasers. They want to do the right thing and they don't want their life in chaos. And early on, the natural energy is if I choose the right thing, my life does not go into chaos. That is something that's very natural in them. Most Libras, again, are the peacekeepers of their family, of their friends, of their coworkers, of their group. They are not outward aggressors unless seriously provoked, unlike their counterparts of Aries, okay? So they will keep the peace in, again, unless they are seriously provoked. But even then, I've watched Libras seriously provoked. Their aggression in the moment is like, wow, that's amazing. They may let it out, but then they quickly bring it back in and like try to pretend like nothing just happened. I've witnessed that several times. So if someone activates, they lose their shit to a degree. They don't lose their shit the way an Aries or someone else might lose, or a Leo. They literally bring it back in and they like kind of pretend like everything is normal. Again, so that's take some of this. And Libras, I love you guys. Like I said on the last few episodes since we've been in Libra placements, as Geminis, you guys are so much fun. So great to talk with. Libras are one of my favorite people, other than other Geminis, to sit and have conversations with. One of my favorite. It just flows into so many different directions, and both people just can level up. You know, like Libras can match the Gemini energy. Gemini can match the Libra energy there, and usually it's really fun conversations. So with Libra season, okay, let's get ourselves into harmony with this Libra season. Now, I want to add that Venus, Libra's ruler, is in Scorpio right now. And we may be coming across some simple frustrations or some passive aggressive energy because Venus is in Scorpio. So even though this is a time of balancing and we're going to be reflecting, and that's amazing, there are some issues, I could say, with not issues, it's not really big issues, but I don't know, this week since we entered Libra season, if anyone has noticed, there's like tiny aggressions. It's like everyone was slightly moody, or like you could feel it bubbling under the inside. Now, I got to tell you guys something that is so funny here about my neighbor. So actually, let me do this and then I tie it in. So how about all of us right now in this situation, that's practice being the peacekeeper. Let's take on this Libra energy. How can we practice being the peacekeeper, or showing up as the harmonious or saying sorry first person in this energy? How can we give peace a chance? Said best by John Lennon, and I got to give a shout out to Jimmy. He's up in heaven or wherever he is in another multiverse right now. He was my first original boss. You guys, he was on my podcast episode. I talked so much about him. We were so close. I love him dearly. And every week he would wear John Lennon and say, give peace a chance. And that was always his like response to so many things with anger. So that's give peace a chance, right? Something simple like that. How about in all of our affairs this week, if you can go all of Libra season, that's amazing. But all of our affairs this week, we say, how can I give peace a chance right here? Am I giving peace a chance right now? Am I being the peacekeeper? I want us all to show up as the peaceful, bigger person in all of our affairs. So throughout this week, throughout this time, we take a 5-second pause and say, what's the right thing to do here? Okay? That will save you from millions of trouble. Remember, Libra, that naturally is their first reaction. What's the right thing to do here? That's what they naturally think of. If the rest of us can do that, that's going to be great. At least practice it. Let's just practice it. What if everyone in this world said, what's the right thing to do now? Could you imagine? There finally would, and John Lennon would be rolling in his grave with excitement. There would be peace on earth. Everyone would give peace a chance. If we could get this message out there and everyone could say, what's the right thing to do here? Imagine what the world would look like. Imagine what it would be. Huh? So get this fucking podcast episode out there so we can spread peace. Am I giving peace a chance? So, funny neighbor story. It must have been Monday, I think. I was writing all this down before my kids got to school. Got home from school. I was sitting with my notes. I went through this whole Libra piece. I'm writing all this down, giving peace a chance. So we have a Karen neighbor across the street who has always been just, the boys go out and play, the neighborhood boys, and she's always starting shit with them. Always, and yelling and whatever. I guess last week there was some heated moments, so that contributed to Monday evening's heated moments. So my kids are outside playing. I'm getting dinner ready, everything on Monday evening. And my kids run back in and they said that Karen is outside yelling at us for crossing into her yard, all this stuff. And I said, let's give peace a chance. I said, okay, you know what? He's like, come out and say something to her. And I was like, no, I don't need to. Gonna give peace a chance. You go out and handle it. Just say, okay, I'm sorry. We'll stay out of your yard. I will add, this woman's a touch crazy. So I'm ignoring it. However, I'm looking through the window and I'm seeing her yell at the other neighbor woman who has a much harder time. My kids came back. It told me later, like, she doesn't say anything. She's very passive. And she's like screaming at my kids. So I said, all right, let me go out there. How can I approach this without, trying to be, well, she right away starts screaming at me, said I was lazy, not watching my kids. And I said, well, first of all, my kids, we've lived here for 8 years and my kids play outside while I'm making dinner. Don't you say that? And then I just kind of went off on her. I said, you're negative. I said, you're dark. We're not dealing with it. Let's go, kids. We're not doing that. And she's running her mouth. And I looked at her and I said, you're the devil. I said, you are the devil. Only the devil does not want to hear or let kids have joy and peace, which is true, right? Which is true. And then I was like, all right, Colleen, that's not giving peace a chance. And then my kids start yammering at her. I'm like, shut up. I said, you don't do this. You do not do that. Walk away. This is my battle now. You do not talk back to the elderly. I did say that first to piss her off. I did. I'm not going to lie. And she's like, elderly? I'm not elderly. You don't see me walking with a cane. And I said, well, again, only miserable elderly people want to stop kids from having joy and happiness at 5 o'clock in the afternoon after school. And then that was it. Now, and then I came back and I instantly reflected on everything I wrote. I feel like maybe I could have, but she was attacking me. I said the best I could. Normally I could cuss a bitch out, and I would, but I didn't. Instead, I just chose to say that I'm not engaging in the negativity. I'm not engaging that. And yes, maybe I did call her the devil and elderly, and that maybe wasn't the best thing to do. But, I mean, she was really attacking. She was really, really going for it. And in the middle of the night, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have, like, the craziest thoughts ever, I was like, I'm going to take this little wooden crucifix I have and I'm going to put it on her car. And then I thought, no, that's not giving peace a chance. That is not doing that at all. Just pray for her. I did tell her I was going to pray for her. And you know what? I did pray for her because I can only imagine how miserable, again, this woman stays in her house all day long and is lonely. Nobody's there. Her kids don't even come to visit her. How miserable you have to be, because I'll say this and shut up about that story. I thought you guys would enjoy it. That, like, I often write something out and then the universe tests me with it. That's why I love doing this more than anything. It helps keep me spiritually aligned, or at least gain awareness of myself or stay on track with myself. So I wrote this and then I went out there and had some controversy. I did pull it back. Again, instead of cussing her out. I did pull it back and relax. But think about that. When you come across miserable people, you're never going to win. Anyone who sits there, it's not like our kids are outside 9 o'clock at night smoking cigarettes and fighting. They're little boys playing at 5 o'clock in the evening for about an hour tops. Anyone who comes out and starts freaking out and cussing kids out and yelling at them they are miserable. So reflect on that before you engage with other people, before you let yourself actually get activated. That was great. I wasn't really activated with her. I said those things. I sort of was like in a low-key funny because I'm not letting this bitch get me mad. Before we get mad, think about that. So many people are coming from a miserable place. That's why they see things in a miserable way. You're never going to win. Just ignore it. The best way to win against any of those things is to ignore, or maybe make a light joke towards it, like whatever. I don't care what you have to say. Sorry, long-winded story. I just thought you guys would kind of find that funny, that as soon as I wrote that, the universe provided me with something where I had to try to give peace a chance, I guess you could say. So now we have Mercury in Virgo, trine Uranus, like I had said, in Taurus yesterday. So my earth signs yesterday, today, and Monday. Breakthrough with solid communication. Nevertheless, it was at least a good day of communicating. Breaking through the silent stubbornness, an open-minded twist for yourself. Seeing another opinion with an open mind. Feeling energetic or willing to put in extra work, not wanting to play it mentally safe, thinking outside the box, quitting a mental rabbit hole, breaking out of discipline for an important shakeup, Mercury and Virgo opposite Neptune and Pisces, mutable energy, watching yourself escape. So this morning, I was watching myself escape, just not waking up. I can tell you that. And maybe you've been feeling that for a while, but now you got to face the escapism energy. Anytime we got Mercury and Neptune there, and in the sign of Pisces and Virgo opposition, it is escapism. Get real with it. Say the truth or having to tell the truth after getting caught in a small lie. sober truth transit, no more procrastinating or la la land, getting it together and putting the work in. Now, on the 26th, Mercury trines, so tonight into tomorrow, Mercury trines Pluto and then moves into Libra. So again, this morning we got a little bit of, we're going to have this feeling of, seeing what is the right thing to do and choosing to do that. Or maybe we aren't doing it at first, but we will once this Mercury trines Pluto and then moves into Libra, deciding to do the right thing. Again, from this morning's transit, you see what's the wrong thing. And now by tomorrow, you're going to choose to do the right thing, and you're not going to want to do the wrong thing anymore. Some of these Libra qualities, like we said, come into our mind and communication when Mercury moves into Libra. So now we got Mercury, our thinker, our communicator, our mover. Some of those Libra qualities, like we just talked about, come into our mind and communications. So we're going to think through our steps before we do things. Maybe really calculating something out, again, before doing it or saying it. Trying to be the peacemaker through it can be hard a little bit, like I said, with Venus and Scorpio right now, because there is a little bit of that little bit of rammy that we're kind of going up against. More chatty or looking to connect with friends, which is very Libra season. More caution when driving or handling big things like machines or stuff along those lines. Not sloppy, but like just following the directions, which we might not always do when Mercury's in other signs. This one we will be following the directions step by step. Wanting to seek out solution. Again, doing the right thing. That comes first in your mind right now with this transit, is doing the right thing. See, we got a theme with each of these seasons. You guys who've been listening to me long enough, each of these seasons bring a new theme. Monday, Mars in Cancer, trine Saturn in Pisces. This is a good day for relaxing because you're going to be processing a lot of emotional energy, especially for my water signs. So I would stay in, but you're going to feel good about that processing. This is not a time to go run. This is like a sleepy processing. Sometimes the emotional energy is like you got to get out there and do and push and run and shake it out of you. This is like you need to rest because all of that is coming to surface, and this is like you just need to rest while that processing happens. So when Mars and Saturn trine, we love trines. That's a very good angle. The two malefics come together in the water signs. So they're coming together and in the water signs. So major emotional healing, trauma healing, things from the past healing, you're finally healing. And again, your body is finally processing this. That's why I'm saying it's a good day to relax and be restful. Peace amongst chaos, a peace agreement, the long cry, letting out that cry that you needed to cry where you know you just feel better. And it could be just a stock up of all kinds of emotions just coming out. We'll come out with this. So the long cry that you need. This can activate hidden pain, but again, it's for the better. It has to be removed out of your body. And so do not fight that. That's why I'm saying rest and relax. Allow yourself to sit and feel and be peaceful because you're going to be activating some pain that needs to come out. Again, that's going to be more so for the activating pain for my water signs. A good emotional flow. Passive when someone instigates. So if someone does instigate a fight or an argument, you're going to be more passive and the other person and naturally will be more passive. And then on Monday, right before Libra eclipse, we got Mercury conjunct Libra. So seeing a project or some sort of life path thing in a new problem-solving sunlight, not sunlight, I think it's a light, problem-solving light, a plan of getting your life in order, an action plan. Again, I'm really loving this conjunction right before, because the moon will be there too pretty much on the next day, right before this Libra new moon eclipse. We're finishing out this Libra eclipse. Like I said, we're sealing the deal now. We're sealing that. Things are coming to a nice closure with harmony, peace, and they're starting to make sense again. I will be back next episode, I promise you, before Wednesday because the eclipse is on Wednesday. So I will definitely be back by Monday with all the information about this Libra eclipse and what it means when I say that we're closing it, when things are coming through full circle and there's going to be harmony and there's going to be deep understanding when they do come full circle. Woo. I hope everyone this week, next week, the week after, does the right thing. Remember that. Do the right thing. Give peace a chance. Can we spread this message? I want everyone on this podcast to say to everybody they know, give peace a chance. And when someone talks to you about something controversial, what are you going to say? give peace a chance. I love you all. Thank you again for listening to this episode, rating it, reviewing it, subscribing to it, posting about it, sending it to friends. That alone is getting this podcast out there, and I can't thank you enough, especially to my OGs who have been there since day one. This is episode 242. Holy shit. I guess I should say that at the beginning of the podcast. I feel like all podcasts do that, but you know me. It's the Gemini in me. I don't want to do the same thing every single week. I want to say different things. But I love you all. Have a beautiful week. Give peace a chance, and goodbye.